Alright, so apparently Wiccan has been in the game for over a year now, and that just seems so unreal to me because I feel like this champion is still brand new, but nope, he's been in the game for over a year, and like that is just insane to me. I guess time just flies that fast, right? And I thought I would just do like a 1 year like revisit of Wiccan, and honestly, he is still a very solid champion. I feel like he has only gotten better because he is now a 7-star champion, and 7 stars are just so good. And like right there, you can see we like regened all the health back from Terrax's rock field, and that's just like a really nice help to the champion as well. And like he just has a pretty solid kit. I feel like his Neutralize is very strong. His damage output when there are buffs is just insane. It is just so crazy. Like look at this. Look at the incinerates here, man. They are just ticking away so fast, and he is just melting. And yeah, just completely obliterate that fight. And like in these matchups, he is one of the best options for it, like hands down. He's so good here, and I feel like that's where his best use lies. Like in these heavy buff matchups, he is just so strong. But in like other matchups where he's like by himself, then he's not the strongest champion out there, I feel like. But for me personally, I like champions that have guaranteed uses, like, you know, Sandman being probably the best heal-reverse champion out there, Wiccan, a very strong champion in these like matchups where it can be arguably the best character for it. Like I love champions like that, and there I got hit. It is what it is. But and I feel like that's why I think Wiccan is still pretty good, because he still has like that use of just being the best at something, right? And here we have this, I think it's the buffet lane. Yeah, the buffet lane, and also has unlimited power. So the incinerates ramp up pretty dang fast, and the fight just becomes an absolute joke with Wiccan, and he is just completely obliterating this. And I forgot to mention that when Wiccan first came out, people were like kind of divided on him because he didn't look too promising at first, right? But then as time progressed, he got like a lot more attention, right? And when Alliance War had Unsteady Ground, there was like a null boss that was just running rampant, just destroying everyone, right? And Wiccan was the answer. He was like pretty much the best option for the fight. And that's when people start to realize that, hey, Wiccan is pretty dang good, because he is a very good champion. He has some pretty nice like mechanics that only he has. Like, you know, while he has his shield up, if he's awakened, he can block unblockable cosmic attacks, and also he has some pretty niche immunities like armor break and also reverse controls. He has some pretty good, like, you know, base stuff. And not only that, his Neutralize is just very good as well. Like it can be like full uptime for the entire fight, and that's just really strong. And not only that, his damage output when he has like, you know, a lot of buffs on the opponent is just massive, right? It's just so good. So like this guy has a great kit overall, I feel like. Forgot to mention though, this fight I went for the SP3 rotation here, and the SP3, it gives a massive energy vulnerability, right? But it also, I don't know, I feel like it's not the best thing to do, except like in very long fights. So yeah, I kind of messed this one up, but it's fine. We still have the fight under complete control. Like he is not getting any regeneration buffs whatsoever. So yeah, the fight is just pretty much over now. We just do like one more combo, and yeah, that's about it. Pretty clean fight there, and that was like 121 as well. Not too bad. And now we have this Kamala Khan on the same lane, and a bit of like a weird thing though, in this lane and probably other lanes as well, when he like counters the regeneration buff, he doesn't get an incinerate debuff on the opponent. And like that's really weird, right? Because why it should work that way. He should get like the incinerate debuff because he's failing the regeneration, but it doesn't count apparently, which is really like weird in my opinion. I don't know why that is like that way with Wiccan. It should be to where whenever he like fails the regeneration, he places the incinerate debuff, but it just isn't that way. I don't know if it's like an ability that I'm missing out on, but it should be whenever any buff fails, he like inflicts an incinerate. Like even when he like has his own buff like from a node like that places onto him, he still incinerates the opponent. I just don't know why it like for this lane it doesn't work apparently. Really weird, I don't know, but it is what it is. But here I just dropped the SP2, and yeah, the fight is pretty good. Like he's pretty good in these lanes where even when there's like one buff, you can still just completely control it, which is perfect. And yeah, now we just get the plasmas up, and the fight is pretty much done now. Here I just hit the block a lot because yeah, I was like, you know what, let's just end it here, drop the SP1, and yeah, the fight is just over now. And a pretty clean fight overall. When he like has his control, like with the Neutralize, he is just so good. And I feel like he isn't the best neutralized character. I feel like he's actually like actually no, he's not the worst one because Purgatory is a thing, thankfully, so I can't call him the worst one, which is good. But yeah, there is Rintra, there's Tigra, both great neutralized characters, but honestly, if there's a ton of buffs, he is the best one out there. Because, like, Rintra, he gets too much power. Tigra, I feel like she doesn't, like, get that much of a damage increase if there's, like, a ton of buffs. But Wiccan does. His damage increase skyrockets, right? Like, watch this here. Like, this is the Civil War Zone lane, and he is just getting a ton of damage. Like, it is just so crazy. Like, she is just melting now. The fight is just over. Just completely over. That was, like, what? I think 30-something seconds? It is just so absurd, man. Now we have this Gambit fight here, and same thing, just stack up the Incinerates and just, like, watch him melt. It's just so much fun. Like, this lane is perfect for Wiccan, I feel like. And actually, no, it's not, because it has Mighty Charge. So sometimes the opponent will just, like, dash in, and then, yeah, you just get, like, all your Incinerates moved, which is not fun. And that leads to the question of, are they trying to counter Wiccan already? And I feel like they somewhat are. Like, I'll have to explain, though. Like, I'll show you at the end of the video why I think, like, they are trying to counter him already. And I know that sounds crazy, right? Because, like, he is still so brand new, and I feel like they should be focusing on him right now. But honestly, no. I feel like they're trying to do the opposite for some reason. But, like, here the fight is just over now. We just go back in, drop a combo, and yeah, just so insanely fast for these matchups. It is just absurd. Like, he is so strong here, man. And now we have this Mystic Focus lane. And right here, the Neutralize fails the buff of the node that, like, applies to us. Like, Neutralize is so weird, man, because, like, it doesn't counter just the opponent's buffs, it counters your buffs as well. Like, watch this. We hold block, and it says buff failed. And it's, like, the buff that's applying to us, not the opponent. So that's just so weird. It, like, doesn't make any sense to me, but I guess it is kind of good at times. It also isn't at times, too. So, like, I don't know. Neutralize, weird, but look at this damage output, man. He is just melting now, like, absolutely melting. Like, the fight is just over now in, like, what, 30 seconds, I feel like? Just so crazy. Just so crazy for this lane. And even in, like, this lane where there's an Incinerate character, he still just wipes the floor with him. And, like, watch this. We go in, we activate the Neutralize after we bait out this heavy attack, and then I hold my block, right? And then that gives us the Fury passives. When I feel like it shouldn't, but it still does. I don't know if, like, Neutralize, I just don't know. Like, I feel like it should work differently, but then again, it has its pros and cons if it works this way, like if it's supposed to work this way, but I just don't know. It just feels really weird to think about. But yeah, this fight is now pretty much just in our control. And, like, this is an Incinerate immune character, right? And Red Goblin, he has a lot of buffs himself, so we can just take advantage of that. But yeah, Wiccan's Neutralize is just so easy to maintain. I say that when it's, like, not active right now, but that's just because I'm playing this fight pretty badly. And also, like, if the opponent is Incinerate immune, you can't pause your spells as, like, frequently, which kind of stinks. So yeah, Incinerate immune characters definitely counter Wiccan for sure. Like, he can still take the fights pretty well, but it's not the best time out there. And now we have this Terrax here, and you know, Terrax, Wiccan loves this fight because also, whenever you trigger, like, something that you're immune to, like an armor breaks or something like that, then you get Incinerates on the opponent once again. So that's pretty fun. Like, the armor breaks that Terrax applies is just perfect. And look at that regen, man. Like, the regen is just so strong. And the fight is just in our control now. We can just hold block, keep on, like, building up those Fury passives, and now the fight is pretty much just done now. So here I go for the Regeneration again. And yeah, like, Terrax, I think he is probably the best Terrax counter out there. Actually, no, it's Absorbing Man now, but before Absorbing Man, it was definitely Wiccan. I mean, to be fair, Absorbing Man also takes damage. Wiccan really doesn't from Terrax, so yeah, I feel like he is the safest option out there for Terrax. And now we have this, and this is where I think they are trying to counter Wiccan and why I'm kind of, like, not happy about it, because if I were putting out neutralized characters in 2022, I would make them the focus for, like, the next year or so. But no, like, they're trying to counter it already. Like, watch this. We go for the Neutralize, and yeah, the Neutralize just fails, right? Because of the ability accuracy increase node. And that just, like, ruins Wiccan for this lane. And it really does stink. And case 2 here, check out this Mystic lane. Half of the fights are Incinerate immune champions, and I feel like that is just not fun for Wiccan at all, right? And also long shot as well, which kind of stinks, but hey, it is what it is. But, like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just so weird. Like, why are they trying to counter him already? Like, I know that he's not supposed to take, like, every Mystic lane, right? But at least make him take, like, the 8.2 ones, because most 8.2 lanes, like, he cannot take, because there's either increased ability accuracy or there's, like, incinerating characters. So, like, that kind of does stink, but besides that, he is still a fantastic character, right? Like, in Battlegrounds, he has a lot of use there. In, like, Alliance War, he does have use there as well. Like, he just is a pretty solid character, but, like, they're just trying to counter him already, I feel like, which I guess does show how good he is already, right? But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Wiccan. I feel like he is a fantastic champion overall. Great utility, damage output in the buffed matchups, like top tier. Like by himself though, or like with no buffs, not too bad either. So yeah, pretty sweet character overall. And yeah, that's about it for me.